Okay, so this is 4K max. No ray tracing, but just everything max. Ultra settings, everything cranked all the way up. And you can see the VRAM usage there is 11, almost 11 gigabytes. So, you know, this is running fine. 35 FPS, 1% low, 0.1% low is totally fine. This is like console playable. So this is 4K max settings with the lightest XeSS on, just ultra quality. So XeSS is much better than FSR. It performs more like DLSS. So I mean, we're almost at 60 here. This is very impressive. 4K max in a game that's not even out yet, and is very demanding and is beating up 3070s and 3070 Ti's and that. So yeah, this is really good. And look at the 1% lows, how good they are too. So that's really nice. So if you just throw on quality instead of ultra quality, still not balanced. It's over 60 now, and the 1% lows are fine. So I mean, to be honest, you can just max this game out at 4K and just throw on the lightest XeSS and away you go. Yeah, let's play with some settings now. So we'll go back and we're going to turn off XeSS to start. So if some people don't like that scaling kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do, I've already played with the settings a bit. So what I like to do is I like to set these to high, and I like to set materials to ultra and textures to ultra. And the game looks really good, but you get some better frame rates this way. So we can see here, this is 4K native, no XeSS. Everything's set to high rather than ultra. However, I set two settings to ultra, textures and...
There you are. There you are.
Textures and materials set to ultra and 4K high. The rest of them, no XeSS. And here's the thing, you can see it's not tanking. The frame rate is not tanking. That's very important to pay attention to. The 0.1% lows and 1% lows are very good. Just the lightest XeSS, ultra quality, and then these mixed settings here. And this is perfect for non-ray trace. You know, you're at 60 with very high settings. And you don't have to really tweak the XeSS very much. So like look at that 60. This is just the mildest XeSS, 4K, ultra, high and ultra mix, and the 0.1% lows are almost 60 now. Just incredible. Like it's not even tanking when casting spells. Look at how locked that is. On my 3070, it would go down to like 30 or 25 FPS at those points. Okay, so now we'll test some ray tracing here. There's a few settings we can go through here. So we're going to start with 4K. We'll leave Intel XeSS off to start. So we'll go nothing. And 4K, we'll use those settings I was using before, which are kind of a mixed bag of settings. And we'll turn the ray tracing all on. Now you're going to see it tank here for a second. And I'll show you what's up with that. So really bad frame rate. You can see how horrible it is there. Throw on XeSS and that's pretty much solved. So you just turn it on. Even the lightest Intel XeSS will just ultra quality. And there you go. You're up to 30. Don't mind the 0.1% lows. That's just from the menus. So very high setting, very, very high settings. We're at 30. However, and this is with ray tracing, you know, it's all maxed out. However, I have noticed that if you come in here, and this is what I like to do, ray trace shadows don't make a big difference, and occlusions don't really make a big difference. However, reflections do. You can really notice reflections off glass and water and stuff. So if you turn those off, leave these settings all up high and ultra, which is totally fine, and leave the Intel XeSS on ultra quality, and you'll see this frame rate goes way up now, up to 60. So this is 4K, ultra and high mix with ray trace reflections on. And look at how well we're performing here, 60 FPS. And look at the VRAM consumption, 13.5 gigabytes of VRAM being consumed. This is a 16 gigabyte card. So if you have a 3070, 3070 Ti, it just can't. It physically can't do this. The VRAM is going to be completely consumed. We're at 14 now, gigabytes of VRAM. So we're getting close to 16 now. It's hard to compare to like a 3070 Ti because the 3070 Ti can't play this game at this setting, period. It just can't. It doesn't have remotely enough VRAM. You're going to be 6 gigabytes short of VRAM from this. So really, pay $1,500 for a card. Obviously, it's going to beat this. This is like a $250 card, $300 card. It's like 1/5 or 1/6 the price of what you would need to buy to get this kind of performance from the competitors. And if you're really worried about settings, I mean, you can turn up XeSS Quality. You absolutely don't need to at 4K. Like now we're up to 67 instead of 62. We're not even tanking during casting. So 1440p max settings, like actually max settings without ray tracing, no XeSS, FSR, anything like that. Really good performance here. So if you have a 1440p monitor and this card, and you're not going to do ray tracing, just max the game and away you go. You don't need XeSS, you don't need anything like that. You're just max the game and have fun. With a little XeSS on, now we're 90 FPS, down to 70 at the lowest. So, I mean, if you're really worried about your frame ever dipping below 60, which I wouldn't, I guess you could put on a little XeSS. To be honest, at 1440p, I just max the game and have fun. So while I run around, I want you to appreciate the fact that I am playing at 1440p with ray tracing on, ultra settings, and no XeSS, no FSR, and no DLSS. And I'm getting 60 to 70 FPS with 42 1%, 0.1% lows. I mean, that is very good performance. So, I mean, I don't know if it's the developers that put in so much work into this game for Intel Arc cards, or if Intel put in a lot of work for this card. I think it's probably both. I bet Intel realized this game is going to be huge and really optimize this card for this game, because this is very impressive how well this is performing. This is ray tracing on with no DLSS, no XeSS or anything like that. Let's turn on some XeSS just for testing purposes. So I'm going to do some one shot so you guys can see, and that there's no shenanigans here whatsoever. Look at that. And I'll just reset those benchmarks real quick. To get those 1%. The menus tank the 1% lows, which is really annoying. And I want you guys to see this in one, that I'm not screwing around here, how well this is performing. So it was at 60 or above FPS with ray tracing on ultra settings. And if you want really high, you just throw on the lightest XeSS. You don't even need the balanced stuff, just throw it on lightest. Look at this. Such good performance. Look at that VRAM usage. 14 gigabytes of VRAM being used. And I mean, maybe Windows is using some of that. I don't know. But I mean, there's no way any 8 gigabyte card is even going to touch that. Even a 12 gigabyte card. I don't know. Maybe it could do this. I doubt it. Intel Arc A770 is an incredible card for this game. Normally, I don't give my opinions like on videos. I just play the games. It might be a little bit here and there, but this one is so shocking at how well it's performing with ray tracing on and all these other settings. And even if you don't need ray tracing, it still performs so well at 1440p and 4K. I'm not even going to test 1080p. There's no point. It's obviously going to do amazing. So if you have an Arc card and you have any interest in this game, I mean, put it on and brag to your friends at how well it's performing. So.